This isn't just another political scandal in Seoul. It's the Chavez playbook from 1999 Venezuela, where a charismatic leader facing corruption probes began reforming the courts and constitution to armor himself against justice. We've seen this before, and the documents show it's unfolding now in South Korea under President Lee Jae-myung. Let's connect the dots with history as our guide. Back in June 2025, Lee won the snap election after President Yoon's impeachment over a martial law fiasco. 49.4% of the vote, a mandate for change, they said. But fast forward to October 2025, and his administration is methodically dismantling the guardrails of democracy. Why? To neutralize 5 active criminal cases hanging over him like a sword of Damocles. The Daejang-dong graft trial, alleged breach of trust in a billion-dollar real estate scam, the Songnam FC bribery charges from his mayoral days, Baekhyun-dong favoritism, perjury under oath, and that explosive North Korean remittance scandal. $8 million funneled illegally to Pyongyang under the guise of harmony. These aren't whispers, they're indictments that could end his freedom post-presidency. So what's the response? A velvet revolution in reverse. First, the justice system takedown, straight out of Mao's 1950s China, where the party restructured courts to purge enemies. On September 7, 2025, Lee's cabinet announced plans to splinter the prosecution service, stripping its independence and budget powers. The very office probing his North Korea payoffs, neutered overnight. Then October 1st, Lee publicly blasts prosecutors for unjustified appeals, instructing reforms to the Criminal Procedure Act, limiting their power to challenge acquittals. It's not efficiency, it's engineering. Who benefits? A president who controls the investigators chasing his scandals. Historical precedent. In Hungary, under Orban since 2010, similar reforms packed the courts, leading to a 2023 EU report calling it systematic erosion. South Korea is heading the same way. Next, the constitutional rewrite, echoing the Soviet Union's 1936 Stalin Constitution, sold as democratic progress while centralizing power. August 13, 2025, Lee's transition team flags amendments as a top goal. September 16th, Cabinet greenlights a shift from 1 5-year term to 2 4-year terms, framed as curbing executive abuse, but critics call it the fox guarding the henhouse. Expand the Supreme Court? Yes, to flood benches with allies for his appeals. Bolster the Constitutional Court? Absolutely. Per June 2025 Carnegie analysis. This isn't reform, it's regime proofing. In Venezuela, Chavez's 1999 rewrite let him stack institutions. By 2006, opposition voices were jailed or exiled. Lee's playbook matches. Leaks label critics coup plotters, mirroring Xi Jinping's 2012 purges in China. And the media? State outlets spin it as a democratic reset, while conservative pastors face crackdowns on bribery charges that don't stick, echoing 1950s communist show trials. Strategically, who gains? Beijing and Pyongyang. Lee's pivoting Seoul from U.S. alliance toward coexistence with the North, halting anti-Pyongyang broadcasts, courting China for economic cover. Why? Washington might push on rule of law lapses, but Xi's regime doesn't care about due process. Reframe that $8 million as diplomatic foresight, not felony. The pattern: in Cuba under Castro from 1959, foreign policy flips bought time to consolidate power domestically. Documents from East Asia Forum, August 2025, warn this leads to polarized paralysis, or worse, authoritarian lock-in. Here's the angle the left wing's press misses. This isn't chaos, it's calculated progression towards socialism's endgame. We've seen it fail in 5 countries since 1990. Economic stagnation, silence dissent, leaders for life. Ignore this slide, and by 2027, term limits vanish, courts bend, and accountability a relic. The mechanism works like this. Weaken checks one reform at a time. Benefit the elite, lead to isolation. History's verdict, it crumbles the middle class, empowers the state over the soul. But patterns repeat for a reason, to warn us. Think differently. This velvet slide isn't inevitable. Demand transparency on those amendments. Scrutinize every reform. History equips us to spot the playbook and rewrite the ending. Stay vigilant. God bless.